Hello, I'm Gareth McLearnon. Welcome to this video, this instructional video for my new piece for Low Flute Ensemble. It's called Fondant Forward. Those two words, they are definitely present in this composition. Fondant, I'm thinking chocolate, that beautiful chocolate fondant cake that you dig into and it just melts everywhere. And the forward is very much something that's optimistic, direct, enthusiastic, swashbuckling, really moving forward. I still have a phrase with a friend of mine. We say avanti, which is Italian for forward. So that's the vibe, like that. So yeah, I just thought I would take a moment. I'm going to direct this particular piece, and you can watch it. If you want to skip straight to that part, you can just go to this place here in the video. It'll be chapter marked if you're on YouTube, so you'll be able to skip straight to that if you want to just go straight to the music. But I thought I would just go through a few different aspects and a few different techniques that are present in this, just so that we can cover all the bases and you can feel totally at home when you're either performing it yourself, you're playing in the flute choir, or if you're a director and you're going to direct this particular piece. This is here to help you as a resource. So let's get started. So I guess the first technique that we've got to cover is glissando. Glissando, the Italian word for to slide. And what we have here, we have a couple of different ways of doing this. I think three basic different ways. At the very beginning, we have this long glissando over 2 beats. This is sometimes done over an octave or a ninth or even a tenth or even further, so you've got a long way to go. Sometimes it's only over a minor third. This is done deliberately. We have these sort of clusters of just ugliness, and it feels like a toddler is just pressing all the notes in the piano. We have this, and then it just opens up into these beautiful open chords with lots of fifths and seconds, and just really sound kind of wonderful and heavenly. But I deliberately wanted to have this melting idea, this sort of fondant of this sort of spilling around, and this sort of nothing too regimented, nothing too measured. So that's why I wanted to have that. So as we can see, it says we want to gliss at the very beginning. For these first 4 gestures, we want to gliss through beats 3 and 4, and it's quite slow, so it'll be 1 that we're paused, then la, and then we've reached that next note, but we want to gliss all the way through that. So my idea, if you have 3 notes in between, then it would be that you hold the note, it would be da 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 da. So we want to try and make that equal and even. So just don't go da da la, don't go straight, just da 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 da. If you have 9 notes, maybe make that into a 5 and a 4, or 3 notes of 3. So you'd be like da 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 da, and so on. And then when we have all of these stacked up and put together, it's going to sound really sort of you have this mixture of fast movement and slow movement that's going to make it sound like really sort of not unstable, but just very melty, which is the idea. So that's the first one. As soon as we hit this next section, which is from bar 9, and the direction is gliss late from now on. So whenever I say gliss late, I mean we're going to go. So we just begin to gliss right before the beat. So da ra. So we're not going to be glissing through a whole beat or through 2 beats that we are at the beginning. We're glissing at the very last second. And that's just to make it sound a bit, and also there's a little crescendo each time through there. So it's da ra, like that. But we're going to be glissing fast and late. And that's basically how we do for all of the glissandos all the way through this piece. And then in the fast section, we've got another gliss, but this is a gliss. It's not really meant to sound super calm or very sort of melty. This is a glissando that's meant to sound like a rocket ship that's about to take off. So we're glissing late, and also we're gonna, and what I've said is we're going to go either higher or lower than we need to go. So, for example, on the alto flute 1 part, we're going right from our low C, or right through up to high D. So we'd be going. So it's really going to be super aggressive, very energetic, and not at all calm and melty. So those are the glissandos that we've got in this piece. The next technique we're going to cover is this sort of breathy and residual tone. This happens at one moment just in the transition between fondant and forward. The bar number is 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. It's 51, between 51 and 52. Everyone has this effect. And so I can show you on the alto flute. We're going. That's it. So what we're doing is we're going from our regular flute tone, as beautiful as we can be, and because this is a very quiet, round, beautiful, warm chord and a warm moment in the piece. And we just gradually add more and more air into the sound by making this beautiful clean jet of air that we've got that's creating the beautiful sound into more of a spray. So we just gradually add more air until air is all that is left, and then this makes this residual tone. And again, the residual tone, there should not be any flute sound. We should not be hearing anything like. This is all air. Whatever embouchure you want to use that will make sure that you can just spray air at the embouchure hole, that is the correct way to do it. And so that is, yes, that's for breathy tone into residual tone. That's the one movement that we have in this piece. And next we have this flutter snare and explosive articulation. Flutter snare, I just wanted to have this idea of like really sort of like just have a snare drum, but you do that with flutter tonguing. So this sort of very percussive thing. So this is what I've come up with. So it's really and then we just give this a last kick to get this sort of sound that we want to get for this snare drum effect. And then we also have a few cha. So we've got. Just no voice, just we're resonating the tube of the flute with this explosive articulation, and we're just saying cha. So that's those two, a flutter snare and cha. On a flute playing level, this is my first composition for low flutes, exclusively low flutes. It's not going to be my last. I really enjoyed this process, and I'm going to be writing some more. But on a flute playing level, I wanted to just give you a couple of pointers. The amount of the embouchure hole that you cover whenever you're playing the regular flute is about 30%. That's normally seen as the correct amount. It gives you a nice amount of control without things being too open and too sharp and too breathy or too close. You want to have too close, too nasal, too squashed. This 30% level is a pretty good thing. But whenever we have these low flutes, the embouchure hole is larger. So therefore it should feel different. And covering 30% of this hole will feel different to playing a regular flute, and certainly when you're playing contrabass and bass flute, that's going to feel like an awful lot more, because the embouchure hole in this is double the size of your normal one on your regular flute, and that's 4 times the size on this one. So make sure, because the temptation with low flutes is to have this sort of sound. And that's because we're just not covering enough. If we cover our 30%, it's possible to get a really good, healthy sound that goes with the bass flute as well, covering 30%. Which means we can really articulate and be right on time and right at the right position and well in tune and everything else. With contrabass, same thing. We're covering 30%, which would really mean coming almost right to the edge of that ridge on our contrabass flute. And we're not, so we don't have to play, which I hear a lot. We want to hear. So we can have this really nice full attack, lots of nice sound, lots of rich harmonics in that sound. So that's for low flutes in general. For flutes with curved heads in particular, I would advise this setup. People never know where to put these. Sometimes people put it just a bit behind the keywork, so they have the flute like that. Other times I've seen people and they have it right over the top, so it's like that. I try and keep it as close to the regular flute experience as possible. And what I do then, so if we imagine this is 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I take the head joint to 10 o'clock, and it's actually easy because it's where this crossbar here lines up with the posts here. So that's our 10 o'clock. And then also, if we imagine that is 12 o'clock also, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So we're putting both the head joint inside this socket and also tilting this curved head joint as well to a position of 10 o'clock, which means that we can get a good grip. We can be well balanced and we're not having to hold the flute up. We can actually sort of be balanced a bit more and hold the flute nice and firmly against the embouchure, which means we can get this sort of good sound. So we can really blow and get a good sound. So that's what we got. So we got 30%, very important, and then this 10 o'clock for the positioning of our curved head flutes. I hope you find this video useful, enlightening, and a useful resource to play this piece or direct this piece. I'm still alive, I'm a living composer, so and I plan to be around for a while. So if you have any other questions or any queries or any particular questions about some of the techniques or some of the ideas that are in the piece, get in touch. Please, there's my email. You can just get in touch with me and ask whatever questions you like, and I will be happy to be in touch because it's always fun to hear from people around the world who are playing my music. But in the meantime, here it is, Fondant Forward.